Hey, you! Yeah, you! Did you lose a fight with your bathroom floor? Did it leave you with a very ugly, noticeable bruise on your eye? Do you want to cover that? Are you on a budget? Well then, do I have the tutorial for you? Today, I'm going to be showing you how to go from this to this.
Disclaimer, I am not a makeup artist, I'm just a girl with makeup, and this is my personal way of how I cover my black eye. I am also not a doctor, but I would highly advise if your black eye is painful or has an open wound not to put makeup on it, and to consult a doctor first.
Alright, let's get started. And by the way, you're probably going to hear a lot of construction during this video. I live in New Jersey, we're a densely packed area, and you know, they just keep packing it up some more. So my goal to cover this is to be as non-cakey as possible, because typically I don't even wear foundation, but there are some times when it calls for it and it is needed. But I don't want it to be cakey because, one, I don't like how cakey foundations feel, and I don't like how they look. I want it to still look like skin. So we're just gonna work in as little layers as possible, if that is possible, to try to cover this bad boy up. First things first, you're going to want to prime your face. This is totally a personal choice. Whatever primer works best for you, use it. Today I'm going to be using the NYX Honey Dew Me Up primer because it gives me a little luminosity and I like to look like a dewy little honey bun. I say the most sus shit sometimes. I don't even know who I am. But yeah, basically this is totally personal preference. And my skin has been through a lot lately. I even have a fucking disgusting pimple. That's getting popped tonight. Now we're going to be moving on to foundation. The reason why I'm putting on foundation before my concealer is so that way I can see how much it covers and I could gauge how much concealer I'm going to use, as opposed to putting on a ton of concealer to try to hide it and then putting on my foundation and I just look like a big old cake. You're going to want to use a full coverage foundation that's just full coverage off the bat. It's not buildable. So I'm going to be using the Maybelline Super Stay foundation. It is very full coverage, supposed to last 24 hours. I tested it out and it doesn't, and it feels kind of gross to do that, so don't do that. I pumped it on the back of my hand and I'm only going to apply it to places I need it the most and kind of be light on places that I don't, so that way it looks like skin. Obviously, if you love full coverage, then put it all over your face, have a party. And I'm going to be using a beauty sponge because that's just how I like to put on my foundation. This is actually an Ulta sponge. It's dirty. I need to get a new one. So I'm gonna start right here and just put that all over my black eye. And as you can see, it's covered it pretty damn good. And now I'm just gonna put that all over the rest of my face. It also helps if you have a foundation that matches your skin. This one doesn't match me that well, to be honest, but it's okay. We'll make it look like it does. Also, make sure to try to match whatever you're doing to this eye to this eye, so that way this one doesn't look super highlighted and full coveraged up and this one looks really bare and weird. And I'm also going to put that on my forehead because I don't like my forehead. Now I'm going to add some more foundation here just to see how much more I could get out of it. Now we're going to be moving on to concealing / color correcting. If your black eye is very purple and blue like mine, I would highly recommend using a peach color corrector. Here I am using this e.l.f. peach one. I really love it. It's nice and creamy, gets the job done. So I'm just like pretty much just dragging that all around my eye and trying to cover up all that blueness. Now when it comes to concealing and correcting, I really want this part to be the most full coverage thing of this whole look because that's what's really going to cover up this blue, purple, black eye. And now I'm going to be using a thin flat brush to blend this out. This is actually a Makeup Forever brush. It is pretty expensive. It's a foundation brush, 106. I feel like brushes are something that is good to invest in, but any brush that you use to blend out your foundation that is nice and flat will work well for this. So I'm just gonna like pat that in and not smear it around. That construction is so annoying. I'm so sorry, guys. My eyelids crease a lot because they're hooded and there's really nothing I can do about that. So If you don't have hooded eyelids, you'll probably be okay, but I can't really help it, to be honest. It only doesn't look creasy if I put like foundation on it. I mean, eyeshadow. What? Cool, okay. Package came. And I'm just gonna like put some of that over here too, but not that crease. It's okay if it looks kind of messy and you see some strokes because I'm gonna go back in with a beauty sponge anyway. Now you could use a concealer that you would typically use to brighten up your face. I'm going to be using this Maybelline Age Rewind Erase Star Circles concealer. It's one of my favorite concealers. It's very full coverage if you want it to be. So yeah, I'm just gonna put that on my under eyes and on my eyelids. First, let me get out some product. There we go. And using the other side of my brush, I'm just gonna blend that in by patting it in. Is that the other side of my brush? I don't even know. And like I said, it's okay if it looks a little messy because I'm going to be blending that out with a sponge. To be honest, if your black eye is as purple as mine, it is very hard even with all this to cover it up, but you know, we're trying our best, doing our best ability. If it's not as black as mine, then this is probably super easy for you. But I'm just gonna add some more and pat that in. Now using a small Ulta sponge, I'm going to blend out like the corners and anything that looks kind of brush strokey. I'm using this small one because it will soak up less product. Now I'm going to set my under eye so it doesn't crease or move throughout the day with this Airspun powder. And this will also add a bit of coverage. So yeah guys, that's basically it. That's how I cover my eye. And now it's actually kind of weird because it's like skin colored and you can see how swollen it still is. And also one warning, if you are doing eyeshadow, I noticed no matter what, even if you put an eyeshadow primer, the eyeshadow is always going to look a little different on each eye because obviously you have a blue undertone now. So I would stick to putting on some darker eyeshadows really, but not too much, just enough to like kind of like cover the purpleness of your eyelid. So yeah, now I'm just gonna finish off the rest of my face. Alright guys, this is my final look. I know it still is kind of noticeable that there's something wrong with my eye, but there's nothing that a little filter on Snapchat can't fix. And honestly, it is 10 times better than what I was starting out with in the beginning of this video. So I really hope this video was helpful for somebody out there, and that's why I did it with drugstore products. So it's really easily accessible for anybody. Anyway, that's basically it. Thank you all so much for watching. Be careful on those bathroom floors, guys. And I'll see you all in my next video. Peace.